you talked about from the financial side, this year was better than maybe it would have been last year. Was Profit First part of that for you?
Absolutely, yeah. I started Profit First a little bit before the beginning of the year last year, and that was huge. That was kind of the beginning of the just really because when you manage your own expenses, it's on a much smaller scale, and then all of a sudden you get a bigger scale, and you have all these coming in and coming out, and
Yep.
you can kind of get lost in. You don't know what you have, what money's where, and
Right.
you might have this big chunk in your bank account, but that doesn't mean a lot of that's for taxes and for stuff you've already spent, but it's just not out of your bank account yet.
Right. Yeah. And for those Profit First, the title can be a little bit misleading. It's not all about making money. It's really about kind of figuring out. You need to designate what you're bringing in. You need to designate that for taxes, for payroll, for expenses, things like that. So it's really just about being diligent for what you're bringing in, and
Yeah,
kinda have an
absolutely.
idea where
I think they named that book terribly because it sounds like it's all about just about making money, but it's so much. It's more than that. It's really just how to manage your finances, and the whole point of being a business owner is to make money. I mean, at the end of the day, and so I would also really recommend they step back and take a look. Why do you want to be a small business owner? That's a huge question to ask. If you're doing it for more freedom from your time or to make a lot of money, that's maybe you need to rethink it because you're definitely, it requires a lot of your time, and unless you find a way to take yourself out and to just be the owner and not be in the business, you're going to be a slave to your business. And owning your own business is not a get rich quick scheme,
Right.
and also it can be the opposite. I think people think that because you own a business, you're rich and you have all this money, and quite the contrary. I think you'd be surprised if you talk to a lot of business owners, and a lot of them aren't going to admit it. You ask them, oh, hey, how's business? They're going to say, oh, yeah, great, doing well, we're
Yeah,
so great.
couldn't be
But
better.
how many of them are willing to tell you the truth? And then he talks about that in the E-Myth, that a lot of business owners are one paycheck, 1 month away from bankruptcy, from going under. They're just hanging on by a thread. But I don't want to discourage people because owning a business is great. It is, to me, it's the American dream. It's something I've always wanted, and just that sense of accomplishment and pride. And I can't tell you that every time I drive by my business, just look at it like, hey, that's mine. Like, I did that. That's,
Right.
that's pretty cool. It's another, it's another thing. But just that you're never going to know all the answers, and you're not going to have everything figured out before you do it. At some point, you just got to jump in.
Yeah.
And once you jump in, you'll learn to swim. Sometimes fear is the biggest motivator.
You'll always have an excuse not to do it.
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
you just have to go forward with it. So.